Hey guys, JTS here, and today I wanted to talk about, something of a hypothesis, a potential theory on the future. Well, it deals with the whole QAnon phenomenon, whatever you want to call it, justice, or a LARP. It doesn't really matter at this juncture. I guess I just want to express my fears in the hope that if I am on the right track, maybe it's not already too late. But I digress. So I've been digging on the Q research board for a little while, a couple of weeks or so, not a long time. I've been aware of what's going on with it since the beginning. I just didn't really care enough to look into it. It just wasn't really worth the time. And well, right now, here's sort of my fear, and it lines up with what my fear has been with Trump the whole time. And just wait here, wait until I finish explaining why before you go too far with this. But the left may actually be right on Trump, but not for the reasons they say or think or anything. It may be a sort of ultimate kind of event in a way. I could see it leading to something of, well, the death of our Constitution if it goes just right. Now, how is it gonna go just right? Well, you have an established enemy, which is this shadowy deep state, which, as I had seen it defined, does not describe the actual power structure of this country as I understand it and could prove it to exist. So that kind of made me ask some questions. But that's not even the whole part. We have this illy defined enemy that we're expecting that they keep. I've seen a lot of people on the board discuss this fear of this enemy having a false flag. Now, say you were the real enemy. Let's say, Trump was your boy from the start. How would you play this to get exactly what you've been wanting for quite some time? Well, of course, you would pull off a false flag and then prove it was a false flag and use that as a means to essentially get rid of what little freedom we have left in this country. The way people talk on that board, it's like everything from the Patriot Act on was not a thing. Like Rex 84 was not a thing. That we don't have decades upon decades of evidence showing what we're moving towards, what we are being led to, and have been being led to for most of our lives. Most of us alive, we've been being led towards this door. And I guarantee you, we do not want to see what's on the other side. And you can follow that Judas goat as far as you want. You're not going to want to see the other side when you're actually on it. You're going to be wishing that you had paid a little more attention. Because this is a very, very dangerous game that we are playing. And I'm not talking about geopolitics. I'm not talking about any of it. I'm talking about the very, very... I'm trying to think of the best way of putting it. The sort of balance that exists right now. It's very, very badly swayed in one direction. And if it sways much further, I don't see a way of it changing in any time soon. In my lifetime, in my children's lifetime, in their children's lifetime. It's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while, if ever. I would bet the earliest several hundred years to thousands of years, depending on how things go. I think that we're sitting on the edge of something. We have been for most of our lives. They've been pushing for it, they've been trying for it, they've been lying to us for it for a long time. Not that they'd ever admit it. Because then the game's up. You can't admit you've been lying the whole time to people, or they're not going to be too happy with you, especially with things as serious as the future of our country potentially not even being a country anymore, being something much worse, being no longer a state, but a stateless society, as they always argue as being such a wonderful idea. And there's nothing could ever go wrong with that. I mean, everybody has control. No oligarchies here. It can't be oligarchy and communism. Everybody's equal. But go back into the breadline, and if you say anything against the party, we're gonna kill you. Okay? It's just absurd to me. It feels like I'm almost utterly alone on this anymore. It's just, I look around me, and I don't see many people actually thinking very much about the things they purport to actually have spent a lot of time researching and digging into. It's as though they did a Google search or two and allowed the confirmation bias to just tell them whatever the fuck they wanted to hear in the first place. But that is essentially the fear of it, is that through Trump, and this may be a part of it, it might be unrelated, it could just be some LARP for all I know, but it could very easily be used as a means of fooling people into trusting someone that means them harm, that means them no positive thing at all, that wants them, their children, and everyone they've ever known enslaved. Not because it actually needs to happen, just because it gets them hard. That's the best part about all of it, is that none of this is necessary. None of it. We could be living in a world that's so different, people would think they were in another timeline if we just changed a few things. If we were willing to stop lying to each other and ourselves and demand more for, ourselves and our children and their children, and we stop just accepting what is unacceptable and has been unacceptable for a long time, for far too long in my opinion. And how we really do that, that's a good question. I think realistically, one of the things the world needs right now, not even just the US, but the world, needs some kind of new religion, or some kind of new way of looking at what we used to call religion. The term religion in the 21st century is a very dirty one. It's not exactly the term that I've come to know from early 19th or 20th century works and late 19th century works and such like that. It's so utterly different that I almost feel as though people are going to look at me weird when I use the word religion that way, because it doesn't mean that anymore. Not to most people, at least. To most people, religion is some rigid set of dogma and some easy answers to complex questions. Nothing esoteric, it's always exoteric. That's usually how it goes, because by the time you're into esoteric shit, you've either gone so full autism at it that you've been reading it for like years, or that's probably the only way. But that's what I think. I think that we really, really, as a whole, need to sort of get back in touch with the divine. And I don't mean any specific religion. I don't mean Christianity. I don't mean Hinduism. I don't mean anything specifically. Not Hermetics, not Egyptian system, not any system. Just an overarching system that could perhaps explain it all in the way that Qanon often does with his knowledge of religion and through the perspective of Hinduism. He's very, very good at that. And that's part of what has influenced me to start taking this position and to try to figure out a way of actually making it a reality instead of just something that's talked about on a short, well, not short, 10, 12-minute YouTube video. And it feels impossible. It honestly does. Like, you look at the world today, and it feels like there's more hatred than there may have ever been. And I don't know that that's ever going to change. And until that can change, until man can learn to love his enemy as he loves his friend and family, it's gonna be the same result. It's gonna be. Because what other result can there be if you allow hatred to run rampant? There really is no other possibility but death and destruction once it reaches such a point. And that's what I would like to avoid as much as possible. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think we need a third world war or to lose what little freedom we have. I don't think we need any of this. I don't think we need a new world order. I don't think we need a false flag to set up a new world order. I think we just need to start demanding more for ourselves and demanding more from ourselves. That's the key, I think. And perhaps organizing a little better and working to not get stuck into these biases where we see one side as evil and the other is good, when the truth is there's both good and evil on both sides. They both hide. And when your opinion of good and evil or what's stupid is just something you disagree with or is just contrary to your opinion, you're just sort of missing the point. And I feel like that's one thing we really need to work on. We've gone far into objectivity, which was a good thing, but now I feel as though we've gone too far, and we're risking becoming something like robots. We're risking our humanity in all of this. This has been JTS. I hope you have a great day.